Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling with Toxicity. I am your host, SuperBeard Vince Hoover. With me is my brother, Super Bro Jason Hoover. We are here to talk about pro wrestling and all the fun it is without the negativity, without the harshness, without the toxicity. And a slightly controversial event happened this past weekend. It's one that a lot of people take issue with: the Saudi Arabia show Crown Jewel. Putting the political issues aside, because again, we don't want to touch on the toxicity, we are going to cover the show itself because it was, in fact, actually a really good show. The last few Crown Jewels have actually been pretty damn entertaining, and they've been worth the watch. And regardless of whether you watch them or not, WWE gets their money.
Right. Honestly, I think this has been the best crown jewel out of all of them.
Quite possibly.
I mean, not only for the fact that it actually means something to the main continuity of the WWE storylines and stuff too. It wasn't like, oh, here's a one-shot event that doesn't really mean anything, and when we come back to America, everything is going to be the way it was before.
Yeah, I
That's
will.
how.
Yeah, I will say, and we talked about this quite a bit over the last few weeks, and how pretty much the Crown Jewel events, the Saudi events, have been pretty much non-canonical for the most part. Like minor things that happen do have some weight, but for the most part, they're non-canonical. This one did feel more important in a sense towards like the further storylines and whatnot.
Right.
Quite a bit came out of it that impacted further. It wasn't just like oh, that happened, oh, that person lost, oh, that person won. Maybe a title changed hands, but you can pretty much expect that title to change back, kind of thing. It was more of a just. It actually felt like it had more weight to it than ever,
Right.
and that might impact it in a way.
Do Do we remember how many crown jewels we have left on the contract?
I believe three,
Three. Okay.
three events. I think the next one's going to be in May of next year, is the rumor. It's three or four, I believe. It's if they don't renew it, because I know that one thing Triple H wants to do is definitely go global with a lot of things, do a lot
Right.
more events overseas. I know he's shooting for India, he's shooting for Japan, some other places. So we'll see what happens there. Um, but the event was Saturday. It played at noon Eastern here in America, 9 a.m. Pacific, which obviously it's a weird time, but these overseas ones are going to have weird times. Clash of the Castle had a weird time.
Yeah.
Uh, any of the ones they do overseas will end up having weird times because of the time change. But regardless, it was Saturday. And they'll probably continue to hold these events on Saturdays, and just so that they can do 2-day events on the bigger events, Saturdays and Sundays, like WrestleMania.
Yeah. It's smart.
Like I said, I really hope that the big four, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, all go to 2-day events.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be beneficial. We already know that he's getting rid of like the kind of gimmick pay-per-views. Hell in a Cell's going away. Supposedly, Money Bank's going to go back to WrestleMania as a match versus an event. That one I'm not. That's the only one that, like, a gimmick pay-per-view that I kind of like. That one to me felt
Meant something.
appropriate.
Yeah, and it
Ex-
meant something.
Extreme Rules, I can kind of see that one as well. Like that one, I mean, this year they played it up very well.
Yes.
And as long as you do your planning correctly and you put that gimmick one at a place where your storylines can come to an end there, then it works too. But I think Money in the Bank works best as its own pay-per-view, simply because it gives you a definitive start and finish line. I think because now, like, if you put it back on WrestleMania, to get that Seth Rollins cash in at WrestleMania moment, it would have to be the same night the person won it, and they're not holding it forever. And part of what
Right.
made Seth Rollins cash in great is that he was holding it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I think Money in the Bank needs to be after WrestleMania,
Yep.
either just before SummerSlam or just after SummerSlam. And that way you have a year where your year is mostly up by WrestleMania, uh, but not all the way up. So
And I completely agree with you on that one because now if you put as you were saying, you put the matches on during WrestleMania. That means if I'm the guys match, which you know they're going to put on the second night, I have until the end of the first night because Money in the Bank is going to go on first, which means
yeah,
right then and
it
there,
usually does. So
my
you yeah,
contract's over and done with.
and that unfortunately takes all the surprise out of it because you know the person's going to attempt to cash in.
Right.
So I don't like that idea, but I'm sure they'll be able to do it right. But back to Crown Jewel.
Yep.
There was a total of
Uh,
eight matches.
yes, there
There's a
was
total
total.
eight matches,
Yep.
and for the most part, it was a pretty damn good card. A lot of fun. So your opening match was a surprise to me in a way. I mean,
Agreed.
I expected this match to open. I didn't expect it to go the way it went.
That's what
Uh,
this. Yeah.
I mean, I had Brock Lesnar picked as my winner,
Yes, you did, and you won that one. I picked Bobby.
but I did not expect the match to play out the way it played. And I think that was actually really smart the way they did it. Um, so
I'm wondering if Brock actually hurt his knee.
I
Like
don't think he
legitimately.
I don't think he did it all. Um, he is one of the best sellers in the business. Absolutely the most underrated seller in the business. But he is one of the best.
And I completely agree with you on that one. It's just the way he was limping and it
No, he
the
didn't
end of
hurt
the
it. It's a way to also write him off TV for a while, because he's not going to be there every week.
right.
That no, it's 100% of work. Sure of that. Um, but the fact that he was pretty much dominated the entire match
Oh yeah.
until a kind of almost fluke pin.
It,
It's that kind of it's that tropey. Uh, Somebody's in a submission, you roll them up in
it's the
situation.
same thing that Ronda did that Liv did to Ronda.
Yeah, it's the same thing that's happened to like Shayna Baszler and other people with
Yep.
the with their submissions. But yeah, Bobby came out, beat the ever loving hell out of Brock. He pretty much dominated the entire match, which was smart because it made him look super strong. And it
Yep.
looks like, not to get in too far into Raw now, but what we saw in Raw is he's going to be kind of a tweener. I don't think he'll be heel in the sense of like going after the crowd and being a full
Right.
heel, but it's just more of just this dominant tweener role where it's like, I don't care about the people in the back. I don't care about anybody who gets in my way. I'm just going to dominate and get back my championship.
Well, Bobby's also been quoted saying that he wants to get the Hurt Business back together.
And they kind of tease that a bit on Raw as well. Kind
Yeah.
of. Both Cedric and Shelton had matches. Shelton's post Raw interview kind of alluded to some things. So there's a possibility of that. But if you make the Hurt Business a kind of almost like a tweener faction to where they're not just straight up heels, but and even if you bring in Omos as part of it with MVP and kind of
Right.
reunite them, it would work. But you do it in a way, like I said, you make them tweeners. You don't necessarily make them full on heels or full on face.
Well,
But
I also think with Triple H, he's trying to get rid of the face and heel thing. It's just this is the way the person acts, whether it's you think it's heelish or facious. That's a thing. That's on you.
I don't necessarily believe that. I know the Attitude Era kind of blurred that line a lot. I still think he is old school enough to believe in heels and faces. We have some very, very much heels and very much faces, but he is. I think the reason a lot of people think that way is because he is allowing things to happen organically. Like Sheamus's face turn was very organic.
Mhm.
Seth Rollins is seemingly heading to a face turn. And it might be a slightly more tweener style role, but again, it's all very organic. So I believe that it's not being shoved down your throat, and so people kind of misconstrued that as, oh, he's getting rid of the face and heel tropes. No, he's just allowing the crowd to decide, and he's allowing it to happen organically.
Right.
But I do believe he still very much believes in the heel and face dynamic.
Okay.
Uh, so, but yeah,
Next.
Brock Lesnar won. But again, Bobby Lashley looked incredibly dominant. Probably one of the most dominant performances against Brock Lesnar we've kind of ever seen.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one completely. It's why the ending felt a little weird the way it was done off. And once again, kudos, Brock selling and stuff like that. And after the match, Bobby went and tore Brock new asshole, got that lock on. Like, my only complaint about that whole thing was uh, Brock at the very end, after Bobby was forced to take off the hurt lock at the end of the match. I wish Brock would have done a little bit more of that whole pass out sell than just
Well, he never passed out, but you could see that he was like his eyes had glazed over, and the fact that the man could make his eyes look glazed over was very impressive.
right.
He was rested up against the rope. He didn't move for a while. He was choking. I thought he did an excellent job with that. I don't think you allow Brock Lesnar to pass out. Pass out. I think that's taking it too far.
Okay.
He is the Beast incarnate. He is the man who defeated the Undertaker's undefeated streak. Like you don't. That's where you get into burial territory, and you don't do that because then if he'd have passed out, him coming back means nothing again. Like nobody should be scared at that point. So the fact that he got put back in the Hurt Locker, got his ass beat for a whole match, a 6-minute match, and then got put back in the Hurt Locker, but never passed out, and that's a big deal. So it helps keeps his credibility. So I think that's fine.
Like I said, there, like we were talking about before the show started. So like, there's a few little nuancy things that I had a problem with on the show, and that was kind of one of them. But anyways, to the next match. Next match is Damage Control.
Yeah, Damage Control and Alexa Bliss
and Asuka.
Damage Control won their titles back.
Yes, they did. Should have never lost them. Should have gotten them in the tournament.
Yeah, I actually I'm okay with the tournament situation. Like I know a lot of people, oh, they should have won the tournament. I'm okay with putting it on a babyface team first. That's fine. The titles had no weight at that moment. So for records and in history books, putting it on a babyface team first worked. I'm okay with that. They shouldn't have lost them on Raw.
That was dumb.
But
yeah, that was.
Yeah, that I didn't necessarily agree with. But them winning them back, I knew that was going to happen. Like I said, I told you in my predictions, I felt like they were going to win them back, and Bayley wasn't going to do it. Bayley's going to end up being the weakest link of the group, and that's on purpose. But it was an excellent match. It was a very well done match. The Tower of Doom spot was very well done.
Yeah.
I think the most notable thing though is the fact that we got well, not the Nikki Cross thing so much. I think the fact that we saw it again on Raw when Alexa's talking or coming to the ring, Bray Wyatt symbol keeps showing up.
See, that was at Crown Jewel. That was pre-match at the interview.
Yeah, and then on Raw, it was while she was walking down the aisle.
And I'm appreciative that the only one that's actually like reacting to that is Alexa. Everyone else is like, what are you talking about? It's like they're not even reacting as if that thing even shows up.
Well, no, I mean the commentators mentioned it.
Yeah, well,
and I think that's actually better. I've never been a fan of the nobody noticed it gimmick. Like, I mean, call it out. Like, we're all seeing it. Like, it's not, like, oh, what was that? The fact that Michael Cole very much talked about it, the history between Alexa and Bray. I thought that was important.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to, a quick shout out to Corey Graves and Carmella. They're going through a very, very hard time. That's why Corey was not there. He was staying back with his wife. She had a miscarriage, fortunately. Not a miscarriage, an ectopic pregnancy, which is even worse. And so, thoughts go out to them, and hopefully they're doing okay. But we had Wade Barrett in second, and I think Wade Barrett is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But I also appreciate that he understands that when Pat McAfee's back, he gets his job. He gives up his job.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know there was a talk of like, oh, maybe they'll do a Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee match, or maybe they'll do Oh my God, Wade Barrett's on SmackDown. Maybe they'll do Wade Barrett versus, and Wade Barrett as like on his first night there was like, yeah, I don't want that smoke. He's like,
No, Wade Barrett actually.
he's like he'll beat my ass. I've seen him in the ring. I'm retired. There ain't no way.
Yeah, Wade Barrett actually had one of those out of character interviews and stuff like that. He said he would actually have to train for 6 months the entire time
Yeah,
Pat's gone just to get back in enough shape to feel like he would be able to contend with Pat.
exactly. But all in all, like I thought the match was the tag match was really good.
Yes. I actually gave it a 4 out of 5 for the.
I mean, amazingly, Alexa and Asuka have great chemistry as a team.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people want to see them on singles runs, as I do. But at least that their tag team chemistry is really good, and of course Dakota and Io are very good as well.
Yep.
What's going on, Kel?
I want to see Sky versus Asuka.
Oh well, after the Raw promo we got, like I have no idea what was said in that promo.
Actually,
it was all in Japanese. However, it was a fire promo, and it was well done.
You can actually look up the translation on the WWE website.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that. Because I don't need to know. The thing is, I don't need to know.
It was the emotion that was behind it that was just amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So that one had Damage Control winning.
Yep, Nikki Cross pushed Alexa.
He didn't push her.
Well,
she gave her the whatever her. They've changed the name of her move like 3 times already, but she gave her whatever her finisher move is off the top rope.
Yeah, that twisting DDT thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Damage Control wins. Logan Paul's crew shows up.
I don't really care about the backstage stuff.
Yeah. The only one that actually meant anything to me was the showing of the Wyatt symbol during the Bliss.
Exactly.
That's furthering storyline. All right, so we had Cross versus McIntyre. McIntyre won.
As I said, they put the steel cage match in the middle of the card,
which you were correct.
And McIntyre won, which it makes a lot of sense to me. But like they announced it as kind of like the end of the feud.
It's not. Like
they literally said that, but at the same time, you just know it's not, and I just don't know where you go from here because you had a strap match. Like it's been extreme matches. Like they haven't had just a one-on-one. And now you can't do that anymore, so I don't know where it goes from here, but something will happen. But maybe you put them in a Survivor Series group, because as we see, they're doing the 5-man teams.
Yes, which looks amazing.
So, for War Games, you put them, you pin them across each other. I don't know. You do something. But you treat it like Survivor Series, where you pick a team, and then Survivor Series meets War Games. So maybe that's what you do. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Brawling Brutes and Drew versus Imperium and Cross.
You still need a 5th member of each one.
Okay, that's not for me to look out, but that's just giving you an idea. There's 4-on-4.
Yeah, I mean maybe. I don't know. That's one that's gonna be weird. Because that's the other thing. Because I think they said they're only going to do 2 War Games matches, but you've also got the OC and Judgment Day.
Right.
As a possibility. But then again, that could be more almost like a kind of mixed tag match now with what happened on Raw, which we'll get to later.
We'll get to that later. So my notes for this match was holy shit suplex spot, and
that suplex off the top of the cage, like that was. I mean, it wasn't off the top of the cage, but it is an avalanche superplex. That's insane because it's carrying Cross coming off the top. That was pretty insane. We got the mace again, which I was like, nah.
Ugh.
And then it didn't really do much.
No.
Besides taking the outside ref out. But I did like how she locked the cage door to stop Drew, and he's just like, all right, I'll just climb out then. She's like, oh shit. And like, crap. So I did like that.
So what this proves to me is that Drew is ring smart, and Cross and Scarlett are ring stupid.
Not necessarily ring stupid. I just think it was more of like they underestimated his smarts, because since the dawn of wrestling time, baby faces have been kind of stupid. And so to have ring savvy baby faces is kind of still a modern take on wrestling.
Agreed.
And so the villain has to look at it like, oh, he's gonna freak out because he won't know what to do, and he's like, all right, I'll just climb out there. Like, oh shit, it's like he figured it out way too fast, kind of thing. So
Right.
I liked it. I liked it. It was a good match.
No, yeah,
It was fun. It was nice, good back and forth.
2.5 out of 5 for me. It was a match. It was a match. Next is Judgment Day versus the OC. You picked the OC. I picked Judgment Day. It didn't.
Did I pick the OC?
You picked the OC.
Why did I pick the OC? I thought I picked the Judgment Day.
You picked OC.
Doesn't make any sense.
You were saying with the
only way I would have thought the OC would have won is if they already got somebody to take care of Rhea. That may have been a caveat, but
you picked the OC.
When I picked Judgment Day, because I knew like it was one of those weird situations where the OC just came back. It's weird to give them a loss, but you have the whole Rhea situation. But yeah, the match itself was good, very good.
Mm-hmm. I'm very appreciative of how much Dominic has grown up and grown into this style of heel that he has. It's like he's trying to do the Eddie thing, but
yeah, I still think I feel like for me, I thought that the whole Eddie stuff is actually a step back for him. He needs to be his own heel and not, oh, I'm the new Eddie Guerrero. I'm this generation. I'm not like, because now you're just mimicking him all the time. It's cheap heat. I wish he would have gone a different. Like, I am not my father. I am not my alleged father. I am my own man. I wish he hadn't gone there. I don't like that personally, but I thought the match was good. I thought, obviously, anytime you got Finn and AJ in a match, it's going to be good. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, drastically underrated in their time in WWE. Obviously, I love the fact that they mentioned he was the never open weight champion.
New Japan was mentioned. Never Weight Open was mentioned. The Bullet Club was mentioned.
Yeah, Bullet Club by name.
I mean, they were mentioned that Finn created the Bullet Club and that AJ took it from him.
Yeah, like that was crazy.
Yeah. So I'm telling you right now, there's a good chance Triple H is trying to open up all the doors and go, hey, why compete when we can play?
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I don't know why I picked the match, but it makes perfect. Like, it makes sense that Judgment Day won because again, Rhea interfered. Mm-hmm. That led to Raw, which we can kind of talk about that part now. Is the OC did find. Which, by the way,
to quote AJ, they didn't find, she found them.
Well, yeah, whatever. That crowd, they were in Wilkes-Barre, I think, where they were.
Yeah.
What a dead fucking crowd! Like, that crowd was the worst, the absolute worst crowd.
No pops,
like,
no
they
energy,
were just like
no nothing.
Yeah, they were just dead the whole time.
But
amazingly enough, Mia Yim is back in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And she has aligned herself with the OC.
Mm-hmm.
They did make a couple retribution jokes, like she's there for retribution. God damn it.
Yeah.
But like, she's back, which I found interesting. I'm kind of surprised she didn't sign with AEW, considering Keith, her husband is there, and he's
not happy.
As far as I know, he's very happy working at AEW.
Mm.
So that's why I'm surprised. That's why I'm saying I'm surprised she didn't go there, because she's worked a few dark matches, I believe, for AEW.
Yeah.
So like, I was kind of surprised she didn't go there. But then again, their women's division still needs a lot of work. So maybe she just felt like she had a better shot of not being buried. She's promised this storyline, so maybe that's why
she walks into a main event storyline.
Yeah, pretty big one for sure. So. But yeah, it makes sense at the pay-per-view that the Judgment Day won, because again, Rhea Ripley once again played a factor in honesty.
Braun versus Omos was next. Braun wins. You picked Omos, I picked Braun. Honestly, there was a 50-50 on that one.
Well, okay, so here's the thing, and had I known what was going to happen at the SmackDown tapings, I would have changed my The fact that Braun took MVP out of the equation and he wasn't there to interfere, I would have picked Braun 1,000%. I only picked Omos because I thought MVP was going to be there and he was going to interfere, very similar to the Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley championship match from the Royal Rumble.
Right.
But also in this one, I thought Omos looked the best he's ever looked.
Yes. I like his hoodie.
Yeah, I did. I didn't like it. I thought it sat up. It sat up so high on his neck, it looked weird. But
that's what happens.
I think it was a little bit. I think with a little bit of tailoring, it would look better.
Agree.
The hood itself is great, but like the whole chest plate, it sat so high on his chest. You just got to tailor that better to a man that size. I don't care how big you are. You can tailor your clothes to look right.
Right. I mean, it looked like it was made for Dominic, but then put on Omos.
Yeah, exactly. And that looked weird to me, but it was good. It was a very good match, and the fact that like Braun had to sell, Braun had to play the underdog, Braun had to play the weaker man. A lot of it was interesting. We're not going to talk about.
I don't know what to talk about. We're not going to talk about that.
Kel's match. Kel says that definitely Omos's best match. Yeah, absolutely. He looked so much better than he has looked of recent, and he looked great. Braun Strowman made a horrendous joke on Twitter that just blew up in his face in the worst possible way. We're not going to go any further into that. Just know that he was proud of his match and just handled it incorrectly.
And
but he should have been proud of it because, in all honesty, both of them looked really good. And the fact that, like I said, Braun having to play the weaker underdog kind of role.
Yep.
He got bealed, for Christ's sake. Like, that's never happened to that man. So I thought it was orchestrated well. The producers of that match should, pats on the back, very well done.
Yep.
And both the workers, of course, good job. Just maybe keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Omos taking the running power slam at the end, honestly, to me, that was the highlight of it too, because that means Omos is willing to not be afraid to take a bump.
Oh yeah.
That's
let's be fair. The running power slam looks devastating. It's one of the easiest bumps to take. It still hurts. It's a bump.
Yeah.
But you're not really doing the work. You're getting laid down by the dude. It's kind of like a scoop slam. When those are done correctly, they're a breeze. Yeah. Just some people like to release way too high, and then you end up falling much further. But with the power slam, the guy's going down with you the whole way. He's cradling you the whole way. He's taking most of the brunt of the impact on his arms out of your back. So it's really not that big a deal. But I'll be more impressed when I see Omos take like a superplex or something. Like, take a superplex, or take even just like a vertical suplex. Have somebody pick his ass up in a vertical suplex. Then I'll be impressed.
Make Bobby do it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that match, again, I think it went well. And Braun won. So then we had the tag team championship match.
Yep, Usos versus Brawling Brutes.
And as I figured, the Usos would win.
But there were a few times during that match.
Oh God, that legit was one hell of a match. The Brawling Brutes, first off, they're living the Sheamus moniker of banger after banger after banger.
Mm-hmm.
Ridge Holland, you want to talk about most improved? My God,
Rookie of the Year contender?
Possibly, just because, like, he's aligned with the right people for his style. Yep. And they have brought the best out of him. And seriously, that match was so good.
And you can see Sheamus and Butch's influences on his wrestling styles, because there were times where you could see the joint manipulation from him while he's doing holds and stuff.
Yeah, it's gone very well. I love that they acknowledged the fact that even though they didn't call him Pete Dunne, they did. Butch was the longest reigning NXT UK champion. That kind of stuff. Like, they acknowledged the past again. But again, this match was just, wow, so many near falls. So many times I was like, oh my God. Like, legit near falls that were like, it was hard to tell. And even though that match only went 10 minutes, it felt like 20 minutes, but in the best way.
Oh yeah, that good way.
Because it's just like you were so tense the whole time, and they did a really good job. Because, I mean, let's be real, like, there was a slight chance the Brawling Brutes could have won. but you really knew that like with once that challenge went out that the New Day would face the winners at SmackDown, you knew it would be the
Yeah,
Usos versus the New Day.
I,
So
which I think they shouldn't have done, honestly.
Kel
Like,
says that uh hold on.
come on.
So just so you know, um, Kel, the moderator held back your comment for a minute. I had to allow it because you said white noise, and they're like, "Is this a racial comment?" Jesus Christ! All right. When Rich hit the white noise, I legit thought it was done. Yeah, like that
Oh
was pretty
yeah,
good. I was like, wow, that was pretty
yeah,
impressive.
that was
Um,
legit.
and a good near fall there as well. But again, that match was stellar. That was so good.
And they made you fully believe and invest. I mean, the crowd was 100% invested in Holland and just everything going on.
Well, before we jump into the last two matches, I want to speak about the crowd, and I want to speak about crowds in general, because we mentioned that the Raw crowd, the Wilkes Barrels crowd, was fucking dead. It was a bullshit crowd. It was terrible. I understand the issues with Saudi shows, whatever your political beliefs are, whatever you think might be there, but legit, the Saudi crowd is one of the greatest crowds in all of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
They cheer the baby faces, they boo the heels. Even when they liked the heel, like Roman Reigns, they kind of cheered for him at first, but then as soon as the match started, it was boos for him. They
Yep.
cheered for Logan Paul. They
Yep.
cheered for every baby face. They popped for every near fall. They
The
popped
pop
for every
Brock.
for every big move.
Like, oh my god, the pop they gave for Brock.
Yeah,
Like,
like it just
if there would have been a roof on that place, I would have sworn it would have exploded.
yeah. So I think a lot of people should take note to that and like look at Canadian crowds as well, and look
Yep.
at the crowd you got in Cardiff at Clash of the Castle.
Yep.
And I know part of that is these people are excited because they don't get to see these shows very often, and the people in America kind of take it for granted how often they get to see a WWE show. But come on, man, just if you're gonna go, if you're gonna spend the money, you're gonna enjoy the
Don't
show.
right. Don't waste your money. You know.
It's not that hard. Like it's like just these guys feed off the crowd. Just be a part of the show and just like and even if you don't want to cheer for the babyface, if you want to cheer for the hero, cheer, but at least make some fucking noise.
Yeah. Hey, apparently your audio isn't working on Twitch.
My audio isn't working on Twitch.
Yeah. Or maybe it was just that one person. They came from Panda.
It might not be working on Twitch on their end.
Okay. I know it's working. It's working here,
Uh,
so
let's see.
whatever.
Uh,
But so yeah, and the thing is, and it was such a contrast. I mean, looking at Mondays versus Crown Jewels, not having the crowd reacting to the good stuff and the bad stuff like that actually affects the show itself. Because if they're not affecting, reacting in their lives and stuff like that, how am I, as someone at home, supposed to know that this is actually good? Is this a good match? Is it a bad match? Yes, I can see with my own eyes, but if you're not feeling the energy there in the crowd and stuff like that, then I'm not going to feel it at home. Yes, there's a room. There was a allegedly where they were. Their team did not win the World Series. I don't know. Don't follow sports that much anymore. Um, but okay. And
uh, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. All right, let me see. All right.
like, you paid money.
Okay, let me know. Like, I-70, thank you for popping over. I appreciate it. If anybody can pop on to the Panda Twitch and let me know if I fix my audio situation, because for some, I don't know what. Oh, I'm not seeing any bars though. Da, 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 da. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. No. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. No. Huh. Kind of weird.
Yeah, it was working.
Yeah, your audio is working just fine. I can see that, but for some reason my audio is not working.
Mm.
Weird. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check. Why did my audio suddenly give out? Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
I mean, I can hear you. YouTube can hear you.
Oh, there's something wrong. Okay, I see it.
You got it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a minute though. I don't know why I'm not. Where's my microphone? Microphone isn't even showing up into the. All right, we're gonna lose audio for just a second. We'll be right back.
You got it figured out or no?
Not yet. Check 1 2. Check. Check 1 2. Check. Can you hear me?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all
Jason,
ages,
can you hear me?
welcome back to the broadcast. If you
Jason.
can hear my voice, please type in chat.
Jason.
I can't hear you now, Vince.
Check.
Now I can hear you. You're a little delayed.
Check 1 2. Check. Check 1 2. Check. Check 1 2. Check.
Still good.
Check 1 2. Check.
Ladies
Check
and
1
gentlemen,
2.
if,
Check.
once again, if
check.
you can hear our voice in chat, greatly appreciate it if you head over there real fast.
Okay. Why is it not letting me? All right. Part of it is the Zoom update, and part of it was my computer update. But there we go. Can you hear me now, Jason? Oh, now Jason's frozen. Great. Gotta love technology, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now both of us are frozen.
Sorry about this, everyone. Check 1 2, check check check.
Hello? Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay, so we're back.
Round 3, folks.
We check the settings over on StreamYard just to make sure. Check 1 2. See, I'm not getting any audio there again for myself. What in the actual hell is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Check 1 2. Check check check. Check 1 2. Check check check. There we go.
Got it.
Now we're getting audio.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Okay,
we're good.
I think so. We'll check everything. Check 1 2. You speak.
Hello, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Check 1 2, and everyone in between.
Okay, got it.
All right. So that tells me we don't talk about the negativity of the crowd over at the Monday Night Raw show.
No, I just apparently didn't have audio that whole time on Twitch.
Really?
Yeah, and because I was so busy looking at the match card, I wasn't looking at the chat. Apologize about that, guys. We are back. Okay. So we should have sound everywhere. Should be good. Okay, cool. All right.
All right.
So,
Next
all right,
match on the
that
card.
was fun.
Yes, it was. Bailey versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah, so back to what we were talking about. Back to the show.
Yep.
Bailey versus Bianca, last woman standing match.
This is where most of my complaints are coming in.
Really? Because I thought this match was killer.
There were too many, like when the golf cart was introduced. When
Oh, I love that. See, here's the thing, though. I am all for goofy wrestling. I think you need to have it. I think especially after you had such a serious steel cage match, a serious match with the Usos, everything was all very like serious and cutthroat. As serious as this feud is, I want that goofy shit, and I thought the golf cart was amazing.
If they would have done the golf cart right, not stop 10 feet before,
For what, a table? Like, what? All hitting that table would have done nothing but kill somebody. Because if Bailey flew off of that, there was no controlling her body. But that ramp is huge. She drove her down there and then threw her into the table, which didn't break anyways, which looked disgusting.
I was talking about when Bailey was going to try to run over Bianca.
Bianca moved.
Bailey stopped the cart 10 feet beforehand.
Didn't?
Yes, she did. If you
No,
check
Bianca, I watched it back. Because I saw that same complaint. Bianca jumps out of the way. She moves to the left. She just moved to the left towards the referee before Bailey got to her. She jumped the gun a little early on her jump, but she still moved out of the way to the point where Bailey, like, what was Bailey going to do? Run over the ref? That wouldn't make any sense because she can't win if the ref's knocked out. She didn't stop the cart too early. She stopped it past Bianca. Bianca was on her left, and the cart was past her. That's how she was able to kick her. She didn't run up to the cart and then dive in to kick her. Cart was already past her. She just got up and drop kicked her through the cart. The cart didn't stop 10 feet too early. Bianca jumped to the left a little too early,
right?
But still, she was out of the way.
When I was watching this match, the whole match felt like they were just a hair off. Like there was a very slight communication between Bayley and Bianca throughout the entire match.
I didn't feel that at all.
It was a good
at all.
And see, this is the difference between you're a trained professional who's seen and been in the ring and done stuff like that, where I am just a layman who's done backyard stuff and nothing major and stuff like that. And this is my eye versus your eye situation,
Yeah, but I mean, like a miscommunication is visible. I don't care, trained or not trained. But I'd never once saw a moment where it felt like it felt off. The match was fun. I thought they nailed a lot of stuff. I think the only miscommunication was the fact that the table decided to not listen and not break when Bayley hit it. And I thought, like, oh, God, Bayley might be dead because that was all neck on the back of that table.
It really was. The ending was great. Don't get me wrong. The ending, that was a very...
Oh, God, I love that ladder spot. I love that ladder spot.
Amazing.
Very smart.
And it was a great match. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. It was a good match. It just, maybe it was just me with it being so late in the card and time and blah, blah, blah,
I thought that they did the most out of their 20 minutes. Thought they got the most out of that match. Mm-hmm. And I thought that it really did spot. Bayley's got too much junk in that trunk to get out of the ladder. Agreed. But you've seen it so many times in last man standing matches where like they'll bury somebody under, like the last one we had Roman versus Brock, where they buried Brock under the announce table and chairs and anything else that could, steel steps and everything. They buried him under that. Kane got buried under, a half ton of pallets and barrels and shit. Like, handcuffing somebody to the ground, to where they can't stand up, can't get back to their feet. I thought that ladder spot was innovative in a place where so much has already been done. But to slam her inside the ladder and then shove it to where she can't lift the ladder up, and she had to kind of try to sneak out, but she was still wrapped up in it. I thought that was brilliantly done.
Yep.
It does beg the question,
where does Bayley go from here?
Well, no, not that. I know exactly where she goes from here. It's War Games, and then you can continue the feud, but you can make it a triple threat with Nikki Cross. But do they need to tweak the rules of a last man standing? Because obviously, if it hadn't been for the ladder, she'd have been able to get back up.
Okay, that brings up the whole situation with The Rock and Mankind then, because...
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, is that, like, I don't... Because the point of a last man standing at its bare bones is that you've beat your opponent so bad they cannot stand.
Yes.
But the fact that we have so many finishes where it's instruments holding somebody down versus you've beaten them to the point where they can't get up.
I think that shows more towards the durability of your modern day wrestler versus your old school wrestler.
I don't think
so. About it. Well, the thing is, what's happening nowadays, it's saying one of two things: either your wrestlers nowadays are more durable, or they're throwing weaker attacks.
I don't think it shows either. I think it shows that. I think that it shows that it is overthought. The endings are overthought, and you're attempting to not allow somebody to look weak. But the reality is, a last man standing match, last woman standing match, it should be where you have beat your opponents. Like, maybe you've hit your finisher like 5 times in a row,
right?
Or something. It should be to where they just cannot get up,
right? And honestly,
now part of it could be because in this particular situation, the feud is not over.
No. And last man standing should be
a
the end of
last
the
man
feud.
standing legit, if you're going to do it that way, it needs to be this is legitimately the end of the feud.
Yes.
There is no where you can go from here. However, I do think that we need to see whatever the next last man standing match is. That is the ending. It is you have literally beat your opponent to the point. The last one I can think of was Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
And even then, that one wasn't clearly just a. I remember it correctly.
Because that was the third in a series of 3.
It needs to be where your opponent is beat to the point where they cannot get up, and not just, oh my god, they're trapped. No, they need to be out. You need to have somebody knocked out, legit, cannot get up. Like maybe seeing them struggle around 8 or 9, but then can't get to their feet and fall. Honestly, besides that Gargano Ciampa one, I can't think of a single time in my life, thinking back on all the last man standing matches I've seen, where I can remember that.
I mean, every single last man standing has been, I'm trapped underneath something, so I can't get to the 10 count. I mean, I quit matches have been more last man standing than last man standing matches.
Yeah.
So, your rulings may need to change.
It's not so much the ruling; it's more the producers. You've got to get it back to. But again, in this particular sense, I can understand it because one, I really enjoyed that ladder spot.
Oh yeah.
But two, I can understand because this feud isn't actually over. It's just the last woman standing match was kind of ill placed in the feud, maybe.
Well, what were you done instead of the last man standing then?
Well,
there you go.
I don't know. Like you could have gotten away with in Saudi just a championship match. A standard championship match would have worked there, but it would have been a different place in the card.
How about a no hold? If you would have done this match, no holds barred.
Well, you just did that with Extreme Rules. That's what an Extreme Rules match is.
Basically, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
And with an Extreme Rules match, you have it was actually a ladder match. So yeah, you could have done like a no hold bar or a no disqualification or something like that. But you always have the gimmick, like the thing that works in this match, and the reason that I'm not upset over this ladder spot here is because it's not the end of the feud, and you have the gimmick of, well, you wouldn't have beat me if you hadn't pinned me into the ladder. You didn't actually pin me. You didn't actually beat me. You just used stuff to keep me down.
Right.
So it works there, but that I think diminishes from last man standing matches in as a whole.
Honestly, I've never really been a last man standing match fan.
Well, it's because, like I said, our entire lives you have to go back to classic last man standing matches to see a legit last man standing matches would mean so much more if you had more where the guy legitimately got beat to the point where he couldn't get up. That's why that Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa one is like such an epic match. Yeah.
I mean, if you go back to like the golden age, like the cartoon era of WWE and stuff like that, that's when you got really good last man standing matches because they were not.
Well, I think go back to old NWA stuff, early WCW. Okay. Go back to like, Jim Crockett era stuff and Gagne stuff, and first of all, they happened like once every other year. They were not that common. And I mean, they're not like super common now, but they're much more common now.
Yep.
I can think of a dozen last man standing matches in the last decade. Whereas before the Attitude Era, I don't know if I can name
4
dozen total. Talking all the way back to the 50s.
Yeah.
I don't like the first last man standing match, at least by that name. I'm not even sure when now. But actually, set up real quick.
But anyways, you're absolutely correct. Something needs to happen that, well, first of all, the amount of gimmick matches needs to be pulled back.
Okay, so the first ever last man standing match in WWE history was at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1999.
That's WWE.
Yeah, I'm trying to see when it was. for that because they had him in, because Ric Flair had him.
Yeah.
They might not have been called that either, though.
Right. We just know him as that because,
Yeah. But regardless, it's just like over the last nearly 25 years, it's hard to find ones where the person just legit got knocked out, especially over the last decade. So we need to get back to that. But the final thing we've got.
Well, we had the Bray promo.
Oh, yeah. I do want to talk about that.
That was intense.
That was a very good promo. I've seen some people talk about the fact that Bray's first feud is with himself.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
It really is. I mean, and if anybody can do it, he can.
I'm very curious where it's going to go. I don't believe the person that's playing Uncle Howdy is anybody other than Bray Wyatt. I don't think it's his brother Bo.
I think the airing was a red herring.
It's a red herring. But there's still a possibility of the Wyatt 6, considering all the stuff we're getting with Alexa.
Yep.
So there's a chance of that. However, as much as I'm loving these promos, he does eventually have to have a match. Something has to happen.
Yeah.
We have to go a little bit further now. I think.
Give him something.
I think Crown Jewel is now he's got to do something.
Yeah.
I think we're done with the build up to it. I think we've got to do something with it. We can't let it go the Dexter Lumis Miz route where it took forever to get to where we're at now. Which is finally at a place where it's actually good.
Yes, finally.
It was good when it started. It dragged out too long. Now it's back to being good. Right. I don't want the same thing to happen to Bray, where it's good, drags out too long, and we have to fight to get it back to something good. So here's to hoping that they do something with it. But that was a very good promo. He is obviously very good at what he does.
Very good. You can definitely see the DID in Bray.
All right, so obviously we're down to the final match, the main event.
Yep.
Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Now nobody picked Logan Paul to win this. No. However,
just like with the Brawling Brutes versus the Usos, the amount of close, and I do mean a flea's hair away. Possible.
All the credit in the world to Roman Reigns for that. He did such a good job of making Logan, his pinfalls look important. And all the credit to Logan Paul for going out there and working his ass off.
I want to give Roman a major credit because I was looking over some of his old matches and stuff like that and realizing that this is the man of the half-inch count. I don't know how he does it, but he has mastered the being able to see the ref and calculate it just to where he's a half-inch away from the mat to give his opponent that close of a 3 count. He has mastered it.
It's something that a lot of people don't really notice, but yeah, there's a real art to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Logan Paul went out there and it proved he has a future in this. It proved that he's really, really good. That match went on for
25
minutes. Well, 24:50, but basically 25. Hopefully that's not counting Roman's 19-minute entrance. But legit, that match was 25 minutes.
Of fun. It did not feel like 25 minutes.
It was so well done, so well constructed. Like I said, Logan Paul and he tore his meniscus and damaged his MCL. And he did that early on in the match, apparently, and still went out there and put on a hell of a performance. That, selfie elbow drop off the top rope to the table.
Over one of the most 40 million views on the TikTok, WWE TikTok for that. Lord knows how many others.
Was at 4 million on TikTok and 44 million on all social media.
When we checked today, I saw it was 40 million on TikTok.
I thought you said 4.6.
No, that was how many likes it had. It was,
But it was killer. Like it was just absolutely insane. And like the only thing like I didn't like his impulsive entourage getting involved was a little weird.
Yeah,
But at the same time, they just literally got their ass beat.
yeah.
His brother coming out, very weird.
His brother doesn't have his brother doesn't have the same stage appearance.
But let me say this: for anybody who thought his YouTube or his boxing matches were fixed, that man does not know how to throw a work punch. So I now more than ever think that his fights are not fixed. Because those work punches were fucking awful from Jake Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas again, Logan Paul gets it. Logan Paul's got it. That one quote unquote lucky shot he threw, the haymaker, was really good. The Superman punches were good.
Yeah. I honestly want to say that Logan Paul has a better buckshot lariat than Hangman Page.
I don't know about that, but I know that it's a very good buckshot lariat.
I made it controversial, but
I wouldn't say it's better. I wouldn't say it's better because the example I saw online where the people were trying to say it was better, they literally showed like the worst ever Hangman Adam Page buckshot lariat, and it was still decent. If you took the average Hangman Adam Page buckshot lariat, they're very, very good. Logan, I think, has more speed on his,
which
and
makes
that's
it look better.
you're talking about a mid 20-year-old to a near 40-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So,
honestly, if Logan made that his finisher, I think that would be really cool.
I don't think so. I think that would be disrespectful. I would find that highly disrespectful. You're talking about one of the biggest stars in the competitor's company. It wouldn't be his call. It would definitely be a producer's call to make that his finisher, and that would just be petty.
No,
but I think just using it in a match like that, like if it's something that's in his repertoire, and it's not a finisher, it's just something like, oh, I'm on the outside, I got to get in, and he flips in. It shows his athleticism, and it's a great lariat to just swing the momentum back in his favor. I think that works.
Okay.
But we also don't need another Kenta situation where, say, Adam Page does eventually make the jump over to WWE, but then he can't use his own freaking move for years because somebody else is using it without his permission.
Right.
That's how CM Punk used the GTS, stole it straight from Kenta, and so.
Okay, so we'll do the lucky shot. I mean, honestly, and Roman's selling of him being hit by Logan Paul on the way back to the arena, I know, and you know how that feels to get hit that hard in the head and stuff like that. We both had that ear ringing in the jaw and stuff like that. No,
Roman is so much better at, like, as great as Logan was athletically, Roman made him on Saturday. Because yes, he had a phenomenal tag match against the Mysterios with The Miz. Yes, he had an amazing match against The Miz. However, I think now, like, all the haters have to be quiet because Roman made him on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And he just definitively proved that he is in the right place he needs to be. There was some controversy because he was supposed to fight the very controversial Andrew Tate coming up, but now with his torn meniscus, that's obviously going to get called off.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he's smart enough to realize that, this was a mistake, and maybe he just focuses on WWE and stops with the bullshit stuff.
But it's Logan Paul.
Yeah, so who knows? So we'll see how it goes. But he has, like, if he goes full time, he has a legit career.
And he's still young, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only in his mid-20s, as far as I know. I believe he's like 26.
26 years old, 3 matches in the ring, period. Not just to mention they are highly
27.
rated. See, still.
Yeah, no, he's very young. He's got a long way ahead of him.
He's got years under his belt that he can do this if he decides he wants to stay focused on this. I think they said he signed a 3-year deal with WWE.
No, it's a 5-year deal.
Either way, that's still multiple matches, multiple years, and stuff like that. and he gets it. He gets the assignment.
Yeah, and I think with just more ring work, really, because there was 2 or 3 moments where you could tell, like, okay, he's new. Like the super kick that Roman was supposed to catch, he was a good 1.5 feet away, so it wouldn't have made contact anyways. There's certain things, but that just comes, like, you can train all you want. That just comes with time. It's a feeling out process. It's chemistry.
And I think he felt comfortable enough to throw that kick in the first place because he had Sean as his trainer.
Yeah, the sweet chin music I thought was, and you know what?
Respect.
Make the sweet chin music his finisher. Just get it to a point where he's good at it. Because again, it wasn't executed well.
He miscalculated the distance. So,
but yeah, there's a lot of hope there. All in all, the card was very, very good. Very, very well done.
Very happy with Crown Jewel. As all in all, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I want to know, honestly, the first notes I wrote for this pay-per-view was how much did they spend on pyro?
Well, I think the pyro there, they don't spend. I think that's one of the things that the Saudi government, mostly the prince, actually, I don't think they actually pay for that pyro. I mean, it's part of the design and everything, but I don't think they actually pay for it.
That's true. And the drones were a good touch.
Yeah, I like the drones. That was really cool. I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah. Seeing the Wyatt logo in the sky over the stadium like that was amazing. The Roman Logan Paul faces staring at each other over the stadium, also amazing. But that was Crown Jewel.
Oh.
We are at the 8 o'clock hour.
Oh, hold on.
What did I do?
No, it's not you. I've got my PlayStation just kicked on for some reason, and now I've got audio from my PlayStation playing in my ear. Why are you doing that?
Did you say some secret password code or something?
No, I accidentally bumped the controller. All right, Go quiet for just a second.
10-4.
Check something. Okay, I can hear it, but nobody else can. Because I muted it on the thing, so I'll have to deal with it. It'll turn itself off. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
So I can deal with that.
As long as you can still hear me.
Yeah, it's low. It's fine.
All right, let's talk about Monday Night Raw.
It was an interesting show, wasn't it?
Oh God.
Yeah. Some good bits and then some.
So major standout for me. Major standout for me is. Yay, Mia Yim is back. I feel bad for Dana Brooke. But goodbye 24/7 championship.
Is it gone though? Yeah, she threw it away, but it's just like, the hardcore championship got thrown away too, and then somebody went and pulled it out of the garbage, and then boom, it was still there. So somebody,
the person I thought that would pull it out of the trash can is currently in surgery for an injury he got at NXT.
Yes, but I mean, anybody can pull it out of the trash can and it still be valid. So I don't know if it's gone. I kind of hope it is, but I don't know if it's gone.
We'll see.
I thought I understood the reasoning. People need to stop saying that Triple H is burying Austin Theory. I understood the idea.
Then he should have won.
But no. I understand having him lose the Money in the Bank cash in. But trying to cash in on a night of an open challenge, dumb.
Double open challenge.
Although it makes sense in that, I'll let somebody do the open challenge, beat the crap out of them, I'll run in, cash in, call it a day. But cashing in on the United States title was weird.
Well, it's the first time. Technically, by the way the it has been said every single time, it has been on a title belt. It has never said exactly it has to be the World Championship. Otis was always threatening to cash in on the tag team belts when he had it.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's still weird.
Dude, it's like a new pair of socks. They feel weird the first time you put them on, but once you get used to it, so like that, it won't be so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
it was the first time for someone to do it.
That's not what's weird. That's not what I'm saying. It's not that it was a cash in on the United States title.
Okay.
It was one, a cash in out of nowhere on the United States title. He has it. The most he's done is threaten the NXT championship.
Mm-hmm.
He's never once talked about that title or the Intercontinental title or any other title, except for just the the Unified Universal Championship, and then maybe the NXT Championship he mentioned. That's what's weird about it. There was no build up to him suddenly running out there for that, and then it to be on an open challenge night was very strange. I get why you did it. I get why it was done. That was not the night to do it, I don't think. I don't think that was the way to do it.
It did feel off the entire time. It was just... I would like to blame this entire episode of Monday Night Raw on lag, on streets, on plane.
Doom, why are you being assholes?
Hello?
I'm here. Wait
Okay.
a second.
Okay.
Camera took itself off.
All good.
No. And it's just been technical issue after technical issue. Okay?
All good.
Fun times. But yeah, I blame nothing but it was just a bad writing. It was just bad writing.
Oh, plus on top of that, jet lag,
I don't blame any of that. None of that at all.
Really? Okay.
Because the performers were fine. They worked with what they were given.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure the script for Monday Night Raw was most likely done before they even went to Saudi Arabia.
This is very true. This is not a Vince McMahon error.
This is not a rip up 30 minutes before the show starts kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can't use that excuse at all. It's the first misstep, I think. First real misstep. But it's going to happen.
We're just past 90 days, and this is the first major
he's over
misstep.
100 days now, and yeah. I just felt like this episode, it just felt weird. Things didn't seem right. And again, Austin Theory is super young. He has plenty of time on his hands. You go back to that Kevin Owens like that Kevin Owens promo against him, talking about, everything's been handed to you, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the reason to pull the Money to Bank, have him fail the Money to Bank cash in. It was just weird to do it on the United States title with no build up to go after that title. Because he even kind of talked about it like that was behind him.
Yeah,
like he'd already won it. Like he's like, I've already won that title. Like when he was talking with Johnny Gargano, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what felt weird about it. That's what felt off about it.
Why did he go for it?
Exactly. That's my point.
Why didn't he go? What else is there?
And even though he has failed a couple cash-ins on the World Championship, he's never made any knowledge like, oh my god, I keep cashing in and failing. Like there was nothing to build to him maybe like going a different route besides that one time in NXT where he thought maybe that one.
So we're looking at a lack of build-up to a reasoning behind the why.
A lack of reasoning. There was just
Right.
no reasoning whatsoever for that cash in. And so yeah. And I think, like, I understand Money in the Bank can technically go to any championship, but I think that why would anybody who wins a Money in the Bank championship not try to cash in on the world title?
Right.
Why are you going to not go for the top prize? You know what I mean?
As it has been said by many wrestlers before, if you're not in this business to get the big title, the top title, why are you in this business?
Exactly. It was very, very strange. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it felt, just that whole episode felt weird.
The lack of crowd.
Yeah, the crowd didn't help at all.
I think the crowd made it worse.
Through that crowd.
I mean, if there would have been pops and stuff like that, they would have made things even better. You know.
So Kel asked the question,
What's up?
you think it's where Triple H didn't want him to have Money to Bank, so they just got rid of it? I think that there would have been a smart, like, even if he didn't want him to have it, which I don't think he really did, there was a smarter way to get rid of it. There was a way to do it because you've had him losing for a while now, but as Money in the Bank holder, you can lose every match for a year and then cash in and suddenly be relevant again.
I mean,
but you can also build character by having him lose, and then all of a sudden having him lose the Money in the Bank, and it's like, oh crap, I really have hit rock bottom. But it was just weird to cash in. Again, just the cash in there was weird. I don't know. It just felt.
If nothing else, if Triple H really didn't want Theory to have it, he could have pulled a Miz Otis thing.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways. But again, I prefer a failed cash in. Just have the cash in make sense.
Right.
And that one didn't make sense. I'm not saying the United States title isn't a prestigious title enough to cash in on, but why are you cashing on a title you've not talked about? One, you said you've basically kind of made it seem like it's behind you now. You've never made any kind of ploy to that. Whatever light you had on, turn that light back on. Yeah.
Okay.
You're way too dark without it.
Okay. I mean, and legitimately, with Roman Reigns having both belts right now, it does leave the United States title as the number one title on Raw.
Yeah. But
still,
and you're also like, I don't know. It just was very weird. I didn't understand it. And
what else happened on this on Raw?
Like the Dexter Lumis, Miz, Johnny Gargano story, I think is finally
relevant,
building to something. I thought that went pretty well. Again, we got another tease of Alexa Bliss in the Bray Wyatt situation.
Yeah.
We're setting up War Games very well for that part of women's War Games. Setting up well. We got the Mia Yim return.
Mm-hmm.
Balancing the books for the OC.
We got Rhea Belair backstage situation.
Yeah, eventually leading to that's something that's going to come down the line.
Well, I think that's also going to probably help out with War Games too. Rhea could join Damage Control. Mia could join Belair and friends.
Maybe.
And that still leaves one more spot open for Damage Control to fill out too.
No, Damage has 4 already.
They've got Nikki. They just got Nikki.
So the fact that there's 2 spots for Bianca to fill out, I think that's the returning. No, I think it's 2.
No, because you got Candice.
She's still injured.
Okay, wait.
That's why the picture that came out shows 2 empty spots.
I thought it was only 1 because you got Johnny's wife. You've got
nope. She's not on that picture.
Really?
Picture that WWE put out has Nikki Cross and all of Damage Control and 1 empty spot.
Okay.
On Bianca's team, you have Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa and 2 empty spots.
Okay.
Sasha, Naomi.
I am not putting my hopes and dreams or there's several situations that I think Sasha and Naomi should have already come back.
Well, here's the thing.
But-
Even if you have Candice in that situation, like she's able to come back from her injury,
Mm-hmm.
Sasha has been posting a lot of stuff lately, and it looks like she's on her way back to WWE. Naomi has not. Naomi could end up on SmackDown, though, and even become part of the Bloodline.
Agreed.
So she doesn't have to be paired necessarily with Sasha.
Going back to Crown Jewel real fast, Sasha and Naomi were in the pre-roll.
But they were not in the Raw pre-roll.
No. Now, what the WWE said, oh, we just accidentally ran the wrong pre-roll.
I don't know about that, because I've not seen
No.
anything on that. But
But yes, Sasha and Naomi coming back would be nice to see, especially since with Damage Control having the female tag team titles, yes, that would be nice to have the two former, and they could even walk in with belts. Have a
well,
unification match.
it was very clearly stated that they put them on the table and left them. That was made public by WWE. That was all made public by everything. So it's very obvious they don't have them, but they
Okay.
can still make the claim that they never actually lost them.
Right. Which would lead to storylines and blah blah blah. Oh, you just left them, you quit. You know, you threw another temper tantrum. Bailey gets go and throw that in Sasha's face.
Oh, and there's plenty that can be done. There's so many things that can be done.
Yep.
But
The
I'm just saying,
storylines-
with there being two spots there, it could be those two, or if Candice comes back in time, which I don't think she will, it could be. Actually, I'm gonna look up her injury, see if they get a timeline. Candice injury. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I think
There's a lot of what ifs right now.
well,
But
and
then
especially
again-
since you can do a very big surprise. You can play it up to where nobody helps them, nobody comes to their side up until the day of, and just have Sasha and Naomi come out as that big surprise, similar to Damage Control coming out of WrestleMania thing. So
That would there's
there's a lot that can be done there. It's yeah, like I said, this was definitely a speed bump of an episode. It was kind of very weird.
I mean,
I can't say it was bad. It just felt weird.
yeah. Now, mind you, New Day versus Usos, that promo
That was
up
fire.
until that was fire up until Riddle showed up.
Yeah, again, I didn't understand that. I don't understand where they're going with Riddle. This whole like teaming with Elias thing, the band thing. It's like, is Randy really not coming back? Is Randy like really done? Like,
Medical reports are saying that his back injury are far worse than they expected.
I know, but that's coming from dirt sheets. It's not coming from medical reports. It's coming from dirt sheet people hearing from people backstage that medical reports are saying that. Nobody's talking
Right.
to a doctor. Nobody's talking to his doctor. So I don't know. I can't
if I
put a
could
lot
talk
of
to-
weight into this.
If I could talk to Randy's doctor about this situation and get the honest truth out of him, I would. But
So that's what I'm saying. Like nobody can.
right,
And like unless WWE or Randy decide to put that out there, but they've not made an official statement.
Mm-mm.
So no, I don't. Can't put all the weight into that. But I do know that obviously they're looking to maybe take Riddle a different direction because obviously it's going to be longer before Randy comes back.
right.
Or maybe they've decided to hold off Randy's return until, like, say, the Rumble and really give him time to recover.
Right.
What better pop than having Randy pop back up in the Rumble?
Especially if it looks like Riddle's getting ready to get knocked out or something.
Yeah, it's here. But I mean, just regardless, it's, I hear voices. It's gonna be a pop.
It's gonna be a pop.
It's gonna be a pop. You're gonna have a lot of them in this Royal Rumble coming up. I have a feeling. It's gonna be very interesting. All right. Hold on. All right. We're gonna go ahead and call the episode here because I'm having more technical issues. But hopefully by Phil's show at 9 o'clock, he'll be okay. I've got to figure out why all this stuff is freaking out on me. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We're gonna call it here. We will see you guys next week. Have a great, wonderful show. As always, if you're on Twitch, please follow, subscribe if you're feeling generous. If you're on YouTube watching this, please hit that follow button. I greatly appreciate it. If you're on Facebook, hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Wrestling with Toxicity, and we will see you guys next week.